Fandom, how's it going? Today we are reviewing I Kill Giants by Joe Kelly and Ken Nomura. So let's get into it. I Kill Giants tells the story of Barbara Thorson, and Barbara Thorson is a bit of a misunderstood child. She's the kind of kid that sits in the back of the classroom that everybody is kind of afraid of, but really all she wants is to be loved and understood. She loves playing Dungeons and Dragons, she loves reading books, and at the beginning of the story she claims that she has kind of this special ability. She claims that she is able to kill giants. So Barbara claims that she is able to kill giants, but the problem is that she lives in a real world. There's really nothing mystical or anything like that about the world she lives in, or is there? Because what starts happening is that Barbara's imagination and the real world start kind of blending in, and it's left up to your interpretation if what she sees is actually there or if she's just going a little bit, cuckoo because of all the stress that's going on in her life. So I mentioned that Barbara's dealing with a lot of stress. She's got to deal with this bully in her school that keeps picking on her, keeps abusing her, keeps breaking things. And there's a point in the story where you and the psychologist that is examining Barbara is going, well, is Barbara really going down this dark road? I hope she's okay, but some of the stuff she's doing, it's a little bit weird, and it's starting to lead down a very dark path, and I'm not sure if she's going to come out of this all right. All of the issues that Barbara is dealing with all culminate from some things that are going on in her personal life at home. I'm not going to give that away here, because if I do, it kind of ruins a huge chunk of the story, but I will say that when the emotional beats hit, it hits hard, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's just really a raw and really a heartwarming moment that it will probably leave a tear to your eye. I've read this twice already, and every single moment that I have read it, I've just come out of it just with kind of like tears pouring down my eyes, but also a sense of hope for this family, and also a sense of everything is going to be alright. I really do applaud Joe Kelly for this book and the subject matters that he touches on, such as self-loathing, depression. It's not a book that holds back on some of the subject matter that it does touch on, and it deals with the fact that, yeah, kids, they are able to handle a lot of mature subjects if you just lay it out for them and if you work with them, but you have to be willing to put in the time, and you have to not be able to judge them right off the bat. You have to look beyond what they're showing in front of you. It's a brilliant 7-issue series that I absolutely love, and I do recommend you check this out. So I mentioned earlier that there's kind of a mystical element to this, and when those moments hit, you're like, yes, I hope Barbara pulls through with this. And when she has to actually face a giant, because throughout this whole series she's going, hey, there's a giant coming, we have to prepare for it, we have to set traps, and nobody's believing her. And when the giant comes and he's trying to take something away from her, Barbara suits up and she goes into action, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome, this is so cool, and you're left rooting for this girl, and you're going, man, just take him down, it's gonna be so awesome. So let's talk about the art for a minute, and Ken Nomura does a fantastic job on this series. I love the art on this series. Ken Nomura's art style is kind of a manga inspired style along with Western. It's kind of hard to pin down because some of the monsters that he shows you, they are super detailed, super really creepy looking, and they're huge. There's a really big sense of scale in this series. When Barbara faces down the Titan that she's gonna face, it's huge, and you're like, wow, that thing looks amazingly big. And he nails the scale, just perfectly done, and he nails the action moments, he nails the emotional beats, he nails all that stuff down. It looks beautiful. I'm telling you right now, there is not a beat that is missed, panel to panel. It flows smoothly, he does the breakdowns very well, and I really do enjoy this. It is black and white, by the way, in case you guys haven't noticed, for those of you that are kind of sticklers for color. But yeah, I do think the art on this is just great. So this is the Titan edition, and this bad boy is actually out of print right now. I was able to actually lock this copy down for 22 bucks. I found this on eBay, and I was really surprised that they were selling it this cheap. Normally this retails for about 50-70 bucks because of the fact that it is out of print, so it goes for a high market value right now. But yeah, sewn binding, as you can see, and I'll show you the spine right there. Some of the special features that are included in here are sketches. There is a hilarious making of the book that is done in Ken Nomura's art style, and it's something that you have to read. That is just a blast. It's really funny. There's also the scripts for issues 1 and 7 are included in here. Some of the character details, some of how the early sketches worked, and how Joe Kelly was like, nah, this doesn't work, this works. That's all included in here. There's a huge amount of special features in this, and I absolutely do adore this version. Normally at the end of these videos, I kind of give you all my spiel of, comment and all that other stuff, subscribe and all that. But not this time. This time I'm going to leave you with something that is very personal to me, and it very much hits home to me because I have struggled with clinical depression and things like that in my life. And yeah, so I'm going to leave you with this quote. To those fighting their own giants, you're stronger than you think.